Well, I accidentally pushed the stop button, so we're restarting here. This is Bees Bliss Sage. There's two of them here. It was absolutely stunning during the tour. Um, well, maybe a little bit, starting to fade because they bloomed pretty early, and they would take over the whole yard if they were allowed to. By the way, the first set, which was three of them, died after a year or so. And then the second set, one of them died, but these two have thrived. This, of course, is California Fuchsia, which has never looked so good so early. It's not flowering yet, which it wouldn't be flowering yet, but boy, it's really going to be good this year, and it really has filled in all of the sort of blank areas. Back there is my replacement for my ceanothus. Unfortunately, the first one died. And this is one of my things I really, really like is the coyote bush. There's two types here. I believe this one in front, there's two prostrate ones. These are the pigeon point. I call it a dwarf, but I think it's pigeon point. I have, and then there's this vertical one that was actually planted by a bird right next to the others. It's really incredibly serendipitous. I have two females and a male. The tall one is a female. I forget which one of these others is the female. And I just think they're just the greatest habitat plant. So now we're walking down the pathway here. We'll go this way. And we'll take a little detour over here. This is a path that was added after this the middle section, after it was installed, because I felt I needed a path and I didn't think of it at first. And this buckwheat is doing really great. I think this is rosy buckwheat, but I'm not sure. I have a sign that says rosy buckwheat. And this is a Santa Cruz Island buckwheat. This is a gift from Aggie Kehoe, and it's going to be blooming pretty soon. It's very beautiful. It's very robust. It's doing great. Some manzanitas, sunset manzanitas. Walk here. There's the ceanothus, pretty small still. And over here is my beautiful manzanita. It's slow growing. I don't know if they all are so slow growing. Oops. Sentinel vine manzanita. Aggie's trimmed it back to make it look really beautiful. And then here is sort of a mystery buckwheat, where it's obviously a buckwheat, but the flowers they're not on a stalk. They're like stuck right onto the plant. So if you know what that is, let me know. Got some milkweed, still pretty young. Okay, let's go back this way. Down the path. Starting some new things over here. This is actually the Water District land. Over here, this is Matadero Creek. This is very interesting, this Purissima Mallow, which has just started to bloom, and these are actually the teenage children of the original plant. Isn't it beautiful? The original plant fell over and sort of died, but all the seeds fell off and created hundreds of babies, some of which I gave away at the tour. You can see the original one has a beautiful trunk, but now the smaller ones are actually, the youngsters are actually bigger than the original plant was. The birds love to sit in this plant. They find it a really safe place to be. Okay. This is maybe a 2-year-old Toyon, and I have another one here. This one here, which is about the same size, is 5 years old. So, but that one's starting to take off too. I had some red poppies. They were very beautiful. This is the secret garden in back. Some more milkweed. I know this one isn't the native one. That was a mistake. This is another mountain mahogany. This Santa Lucia bush mallow is really spectacular. It did fill in the whole fence area here, but pieces of it died off, and I might be having that same problem again. But it's a wonderful plant. Beautiful flowers. It's another Cleveland sage. This mallow here, which I'll talk about when we go to the other side, really it's very exuberant in its growth, and it actually come back and cover the whole patio. So these the plants back here don't get as much sun as they probably would like. This is my dwarf flannel bush, or Fremontodendron. I'm surprised there's still flower left, because most of it is done. You see this this mallow is like spectacular. Okay, let's go back around. Oh, by the way, it looks like I have 2 oaks. Here's one. I didn't plant these, of course. And another one here. I think that's a sign of a healthy garden. A lot of buckeyes too, also planted by wild creatures. So is this mallow spectacular? This is the Fremont's bush mallow. I also thought it was called chaparral mallow, but I'm not sure about that, because that's the official name that I got from the label when we did the labels. It just has these incredible sprays of flowers that they start blooming back here, and then they go all the way to the end. It takes a while for them to go out too, and they're wonderful in flower displays. Have them hanging over the side. Look at this. Isn't that like unbelievable? It sort of fell over in the rain, but now this was just one plant, and I've hacked it back like 20 times. This thing is like crazy. It's just crazy. Of course, wasn't just far into the garden during the tour. No one would have been able to get by. Okay, just a few more things. This is my little rock garden. Here is the I'm doing some cliff buckwheats. I have one here, one on the other side, and the black sage, which is just starting to bloom. So it's like the latest bloomer, at least in my garden. This is another sage. You know, I can't remember which one. I can't find the sign. It might be covered up by now. You can see the honeybees are over here. It's interesting. The honeybees and the bumblebees, well, of course, you know, call me out for being wrong, but generally they seem to like different flowers. Like the honeybees really love the tansy leaf phacelia, and the bumblebees really love the tansy leaf phacelia, and the honeybees really love the bee's bliss. There's really just, I think, one more thing here, which is my gorgeous white sage. This is like unbelievable. This is probably 6 years old. Of course, I never water it. Well, all these plants I pretty much never water them except when they're new. And every year it sends out these long stalks. They're particularly more horizontal than usual. I'm not sure why, but they're always very long and robust. I just think this is a wonderful plant. And I leave the stalks on even after they're dry. They are, you know, done, because just the dried stalk is really beautiful too. Okay, well, that's it for the front garden. Now I'm going to go into the back.